darn these part twos, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good because I'm just going to keep posting videos each day for you guys to get new information. So I was ranting again about my personal journey into ketosis. I was talking about that I ate about upwards 4,000 calories a day, and I literally didn't notice that I was very slowly gaining weight. Had no idea. First of all, I showed, now check this puppy out. So the last video was like before and after. I was showing a picture that somebody had pulled from an old Facebook photo album and stuck it on my wall and was like, oh my God, you look amazing. And I looked at the picture, it was like disgusting, like nasty ass, bleh. And I'll show you why on the second part of this video. So this is, in the last video I was showing this picture of myself. Yes, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. Look how emaciated I look. I look awful, terrible. This is gluconeogenesis to the freaking maximum. But when you're a chick, right? It's like, and of course this is me now. Yes, this is me. All nice and healthy, 15 pounds heavier and still lean. I'm probably more lean than I was in this photo. Emaciated as hell. Look how skinny my arms are. Look at that. See my arms now? Chunky! Yeah! Chunky booty! Chunky! This is what keto does. Nothing looks as good as keto feels. Okay, so that was the last video. I was talking about the before and after, and this is just the part two of me trying to explain my journey. So the last video was going on and on and on about how in the beginning I did not eat enough fat. I didn't know there was no limit to fat, and then I felt this kind of like fog in the afternoon, and I couldn't focus, and I was having a glucose response, a insulinogenic effect. My glucose was essentially peaking, and then the insulin was taking it out, and I was getting sleepy. So I was like, I'm still cranking out glucose. As you can see in a picture like that, in the beginning of my journey, I was still breaking down muscle and converting it into glucose. So I was like, okay, I need to stop this reaction because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. I'm not strong at the gym. I didn't have the keto flu, but I wasn't having energy. Yes, the energy you cannot fake. So I upped my fat. In the last video I was explaining about all the fats I ate at once, like jars of coconut butter, oil, almond butter. Yes, back then I ate almond butter. Big, huge 26-ounce, 28-ounce bottles of olive oil. I would obliterate 4 or 5 days. And avocados 2 a day, and packs of butter in a couple of days, and I'd eat it all at once. I mean, I was fattening up. But that fuzziness went away. So my ketones went up, my glucose went down, and I was in ketosis, and voila. And it was great. And somebody was like, your ass is wiggling around. I was like, I didn't pay attention because I am not literally looking at my body, even though I'm showing it in these videos. I'm like, this is the business, right? Okay. So with that said, it wasn't until I actually put on a pair of jeans and nothing fit, because this girl, I wore a 00, like little girl size. Now my legs had been incredibly atrophied because of the skateboard injury that I've had, babying my legs, not knowing how to train them with such a severe injury, and because my knee is bad now, my hip is quite bad. Lots of inflammation, lots of arthritis. So when I upped the fat, a lot of the arthritis, the inflammation went down, my energy went up. So I was like, there is something to all this fat. So now, at that time, I was personal training clients. And I was like, all right. So I took 8 subjects, and guided them, because, we're having that face-to-face, intimate relationship in a gym where I can monitor, I could see their body, I could talk about their food habits, I could create the keto plans for them, or the low carb, high fat, because back then I was like really still learning about keto. and they all had success. They all dropped body fat. They got off their SSRIs. They got off asthma medication, arthritis medication, the NSAIDs, the anti-inflammatories, you name it, they went off the medication, thyroid, and it was amazing. And I still did not understand the systems of the body that well then. So I didn't understand the gravity of what ketones or introducing fats and lowering your processed carbs, getting them out. I had no idea the weight behind what that would do to people and how awesome it was. And time went by. Of course, this journey started with just like me hearing about the ketogenic diet, cyclic ketosis and stuff like that. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that you had to drop your carbs, and maybe I sort of intuitively knew that you needed to up your fat. Now, with that said, if I rewind to my own experience today, once I knew that I was eating more fat than I needed to. Once I dropped the fat and I had already like literally popped into ketosis, this is what happened. Bam! That's what happened, right? This is the body that transformed out of that scrawny ass body. This is what happened when this is what happened to the body when I upped my fat and I lowered my protein. This is the body that happened. So in essence, I'm aging backwards. It is fantastic-bombing. It's amazing. Yes! Well, you age. Everybody ages. But all of that inflammation, heavy jowls, broken blood vessels, capillaries, the dysbiosis of the gut, the hormones that are imbalanced, like all of that slows down to a crawl. So in essence, you age backwards. It is amazing. Yes. So I wanted to just talk about Steph's journey into ketosis. I gained weight. I gained around 7 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds, didn't care. And people are like, why, how did you gain weight? I mean, I thought keto was supposed to lose weight. Well, first of all, if you have any metabolic damage, which I did because I was having an insulinogenic effect at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was not able to keep the balance, the opposition of insulin and glucagon. So somewhere my glucagon wasn't raising my blood glucose up to a level where my insulin was just, everything was wacky wonky. So with that said, over time, my adrenals have begun to heal. My sleep patterns have begun to heal, or sleep hygiene as they call it, and my attitude has improved exponentially. I am much better at being in situations where the synapses in my mind can now create new synapses to then let go of the old ones so I don't react, because we are constant cortisol buttons, right? We're like releasing cortisol, and we are slathered and marinating in cortisol. And cortisol in excess does all those things. So, for example, okay, yes, crooked, okay. For example, I was talking to a guy today. I'm a 67 baby, he's a 67 baby, so we're essentially, around the same age. And he's on HRTs. I was like, okay, first of all, he's like, I'm 48, and he's like, my body's pretty cool, it's good, So I'm not doing too bad, he said. And then I looked at his face. I was like, okay, I saw a little inflammation, a little puffiness. He's like, okay. And then he explained what his job was and explained the demand. As soon as he started explaining the job and the demand, then I said, do you drink coffee? And he was like, oh, but I don't drink that many cups. I was like, okay, first of all, number one, I'm like, are you on an HRT? And he was like, what's that? And I was like, well, it's hormone replacement therapy. Sex hormones, they ain't doing their job. And that, my friends, when you're in your 20s, is like, oh, oopsie. When you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's a wrap, You look awful. You look terrible. And so I was like, if this guy is not getting enough sleep and drinking coffee and really staying up super late and working really late, there is no way in hell that he has a body like that. at 48 unless he's on stuff. He's like, yeah, I take this, I take that, and I take this. I was like, dude, I'm a chick. We're born in the same year. And this is all natural. This is as natural gets. Right? This is super natural. And I've got a lot less testosterone than he does. So he was just perplexed, and I tried to explain to him that because of stress, because of poor sleep, because you have pushed your body to the limit, your hormones are exhausted. Your body will start shutting off the lights in the house, that's my metaphor, because the electric bill is too high. So one of the lights in one of the rooms is your testosterone. It could be your thyroid. It can be your hair falling out and getting thin. It can be feeling cold all the time. So let's just turn off every light that is raising the electric bill or to the house. Your body, let's just shut off everything to conserve energy. And unfortunately, it is not normal for men to get soft and feminized as they hit like their mid-30s into their 40s. That's not normal. That's not normal, people! That's not normal. That's not normal. I talk so much about women going through hot flashes, and that is not normal. But we don't talk about men in the andropause, and that is not normal. To be so young, and to have your testosterone so low. So we keep hearing about like Suzanne Summers and like, you know, the bioidentical, and I'm like, look, just like Nora said, when your ovaries stop working, your adrenal glands take over because they will produce your reproductive hormones and keep you with the business for the rest of your life. If you take care of your body will take care of you. And men, your testosterone shouldn't drop. So back to the story about this guy, I was like, okay, let me guess. You wake up to use the bathroom all the time? He's like, yeah. And I was like, prostate. He's like, oh, I tested the prostate. It was fine. I was like, okay, first of all, it is your prostate. It is pressing and you are peeing all the time. And I go, you gotta be careful. If you're peeing all through the night, even just a little bit of pressure on that bladder and you gotta pee. During the consultation, he was peeing all the time. I was like, don't tell me it's not prostate. I need to see what prostate looks like. Prostate, low T, super adrenal fatigue. He had to take naps in the afternoon. That's not normal, people, because we are not being chased by a lion. We are not getting up at 4 a.m. to go hunt. Yes, we are not starving. Why do we need to take a nap or else we're just tired? I'm just so tired. And then he drank coffee too. So what I'm saying about my journey on keto, I didn't fight what made sense, right? I crawled my black ass out of the matrix and I was like, whoa, there's a whole new world out there and we have been so misinformed. It didn't take much for me to jack up the fat. Not afraid of it. I had no problem lowering my protein. In fact, I kept playing with my protein amounts to see how low I could go and still build. And I got around 50 grams of protein a day and still continued to gain pounds of muscle that brought me from that one picture of 113 to what you see right here, right now. 50 grams of protein a day. How is that possible? Well, as a carb burner, you are constantly catabolic. Your body is breaking down the muscle, converting it into sugar to feed the fledgling brain, which is what I said in the beginning of my video series. It's gluconeogenesis. And unfortunately, it happens too much. Yeah, so we're not supposed to constantly be breaking down the body to have some sense of being alert. Your adrenals don't fire as well. Your insulin's not working. You become insulin resistant. You're not repairing at night because you guys are not getting to the 5th level of sleep. So you become very catabolic because of those things I just mentioned. So